Good Friday really good? Today across the world, over 1 billion Christians will in some way venerate the crucifixion of Jesus. Now, many non-Christians will wonder just what's wrong with us that we celebrate the death by torture of a man we believe to be totally innocent and supremely virtuous. Not that unbelievers believe either of those things about Jesus, but they wonder what value we find in this occasion. Why should we call it Good Friday? What exactly is good about it? Now, there are many answers to that question, so many perspectives that I can't possibly even try to give a complete account of them. We could view it as paying the price to balance out all of humanity's sins. Now, some might ask, how can one man outweigh all the innocents suffered throughout the ages, all the evils ever done? That only makes sense if we already believe that this one man is also the one God, and therefore does outweigh all humanity in the balance, as if the human world were just a feather on the other side of the measuring device. Or we could see in Jesus' faithfulness, which goes through all of this suffering in obedience to his mission, never resisting, never falling to temptation, to strike back or to give up, but to turn the cheek, to forgive those who torment him, as the most perfect act of faithfulness in all of human history, a victory on behalf of all of us. We could see it as a victory over all the tempting alternatives to love and faith. There'd be truth in those and many other perspectives. But I want to focus on a slightly different perspective on how the crucifixion of Jesus changed the world, changed even the world of unbelievers. Most unbelievers and believers today believe that all humans should be treated with respect. But why do we believe that? One writer recently said that the answer to that question lies in the cross. In his recent book, Dominion, English historian Tom Holland says the crucifixion of Jesus is the most revolutionary thing that ever happened in our world. Before Jesus, he says, the ideal man in the Mediterranean world was a man strong enough to impose his will on everyone else. The ideal was Alexander the Great, who could conquer the world, or Caesar, who could boast of killing thousands and enslaving millions. After their deaths, such people might even be considered gods, but not ordinary people, not the powerless. They were of no consequence. To borrow a phrase from the novel Cloud Atlas, the weak are meat and the strong do eat. But when rumors spread that a man of no wealth, no legions, no pomp, that we should look on him, a man who had been executed in the most cruel, degrading manner, that this man had risen, had overcome all that religious and secular powers could do. That was astonishing. One of his ambassadors stuck to this strange story, resolving, he said, to know nothing among you but Christ and him crucified. And the power of this invisible, risen man moved, healed, and inspired more and more people of every nation with every passing year. It was a kind of plague, altering the hearts and the minds of Jews and Romans, Greeks and non-Greeks, males and females, slaves and free. It was really turning the world upside down. Why? Because all these normally divided people were united in one thing. They found God in this Jesus, not in Caesar, not in kings, or in the temples of Artemis in Ephesus, in Olympus, or in the Pantheon in Rome, or the mysteries in Eleusis. They found God on a cross, and not just God. They also found the ideal image of humanity there as well. Tom Holland traces from this discovery of God and man on the cross the seed seeing all humans, however humble, however poor, powerless, and excluded, the conviction that all must be treated with reverence. Though it took centuries for this conviction to work like yeast in the lump of human history, and it is still working today. It even works today in the minds and the hearts of those who deny that they believe in the God found in the man who was found on the cross. Our ideas of human dignity are based not on our clever reasonings, but on the cross, which started as a symbol of all that was despised, but conquered the world and became the emblem adorning crowns everywhere. It all began with a crown of thorns. So much that is good in this world, or so much that is trying to be good, grows from those thorns and from that cross. That is why we venerate today that cross. That is why we call this Friday good.